Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you how to do this Tunisian crochet ribbing. It uses the Tunisian simple stitch and the Tunisian twisted simple stitch, and it creates pairs of stitches that go up and down your work like this. It creates really nice lines up and down. It can be used as a stitch combination all by itself, or in the examples here it makes a really nice border to something. So this is the cuff to a sleeve, this is the final border to a shawl, and this is the bottom of a beanie. You can either use one colour for this or two colours. I'll be showing you how to do both, one colour and two colours. And you can either work this stitch combination worked flat, Tunisian crochet worked flat, or Tunisian crochet worked in the round. With whatever item you are making with this ribbing, you will need an even number of stitches. This is because you'll be alternating the Tunisian simple stitch and Tunisian twisted simple stitch as a pair of stitches, so that when you're working in the round, the pairs of stitches will match up as you go all the way around. And if you're working flat, the first vertical bar and the end stitch at the end of your row will sit either side of the ribbing in the middle, and in the case here, the first vertical bar and the end stitch can be sewn together so that the ribbing either side is unaffected by a seam. So now to show you how this ribbing is worked, I'm going to create a sample here, first of all worked flat, and I've already got my foundation row set up that has 12 stitches on it. Because I'm working flat, I'm going to skip this first vertical bar, and in the next vertical bar I'm going to do a Tunisian simple stitch. So enter under the front vertical bar from right to left with the hook, yarn over, pull through, and leave that loop on your hook, and that's a Tunisian simple stitch. In the next stitch, in the next vertical bar, going to do a twisted simple stitch, and this is worked kind of the same way as a regular simple stitch, but instead of going under the front vertical bar from right to left, you're going to need to go from left to right, which is a bit tricky because you're going to be going back on yourself. But to make this much easier, I use the hook part of the hook, and what I do is I twist so the hook is facing away from me, and then put the hook underneath that front vertical bar as though I'm pulling it towards the right. Then twist the hook back so it's facing me, and now I've gone under that front vertical bar from left to the right, but I've done it by twisting the hook. So I'll show you again. Turn so the hook is facing away from you, and then put that hook underneath that front vertical bar as though you're pulling it towards the right, and twist your hook back towards you, and there the front vertical bar is now on your stitch and on your hook. And now to complete the stitch, yarn over and pull through, and there is a Tunisian twisted simple stitch. And you can see that these two vertical bars have now come towards each other to create the pairs of stitches that we need to work all the way across. Got a Tunisian simple stitch there and a Tunisian twisted simple stitch here. I'm going to repeat these two stitches all the way along. So in the next vertical bar, do a simple stitch, so under the vertical bar from right to left, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then in this next vertical bar we need to do a twisted simple stitch, so turn the hook so it's facing away, go underneath that front vertical bar as though you're pulling it to the right, and twist your hook back so it's facing you, yarn over, pull up a loop, and there's another pair of stitches. So simple stitch, twisted simple stitch, simple stitch, twisted simple stitch. Now I'll repeat that again. Simple stitch in the next vertical bar, and then twisted simple stitch in the next one. So turn the hook, go underneath, turn your hook so it's facing you again, yarn over, pull up a loop, and there's another pair. Do it again, simple stitch, sorry, just getting some more yarn, and then a twisted simple stitch in here, so turn the hook away, under that vertical bar, twist it so it's facing you, yarn over, pull up a loop. And the last time in this sample, simple stitch under here, and then in this one here going to do a twisted simple stitch, turn the hook under here, and then twist the hook back, yarn over, pull up a loop. And then because we had an even number of stitches, we started off with skipping the first vertical bar here. So in this last stitch we're going to work the end stitch, so we're going to go under these two bars there, yarn over, pull up a loop, and that's the first row of ribbing. You can see that there's pairs of stitches going all the way across. So now just do a return. Start off the return by a yarn over, pull through one loop, and then yarn over, pull through two loops all the way to the end. So if you want to do this in two different colours, you'll need to do the forward pass in one colour and then the return in another. So in this next row I'm going to do the forward pass in this same colour that I've just used, and then the return in this colour here. So to do the forward pass, skip this first vertical bar and then do a Tunisian simple stitch in the next stitch, then a twisted simple stitch in this one here. So turn the hook so it's facing away, go underneath that front vertical bar, then twist your hook so it's back facing you, yarn over and pull up a loop. And you can see now that this pair of stitches is now lined up on top of this pair of stitches. Do that again all the way across, simple stitch in the next one, then a twisted simple in the next one. Turn the hook so it's facing away from you, go under that front vertical bar, twist your hook so it's back facing you, yarn over and pull up a loop. There's another pair of stitches. So I'm now going to repeat this all the way to the end. So I've completed the forward pass in this first colour, I've gone all the way across. I can now cut this yarn and now work the return in this yarn here. So with your second colour, yarn over and pull through one loop, and then yarn over, pull through two loops all the way across. And then when you get to the final 2 loops of the return, cut this yarn, the second colour, and then use your first colour to do the next forward pass. So finish the return by doing a yarn over and then pull through 2 loops, and now you can do the next forward pass. So skip the first vertical bar, Tunisian simple stitch in the next one, twisted simple stitch in the next one, and I'll do that again, simple stitch in the next one, twisted simple stitch in the next one. You can already see the nice contrast that those 2 colours are giving. You've got the ribbing in one colour and the background in another. And simple stitch in the next one, twisted simple stitch in the next one, simple, twisted simple, and that's the ribbing in 2 colours. Working with 2 colours is much easier when you're in the round, as you won't need to fasten off the 2 colours as you're getting to the end of the forward pass or the return. You just use one end of your hook and one yarn to do the forward pass, and the other end of your hook and your other yarn to do your return. So I'll do some of the forward pass, simple stitch, and then twisted simple stitch, simple stitch, and then twisted simple stitch, and then turn your work and use your other end of the hook and your other yarn, your other colour, to do a return. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and that is working the ribbing in the round. So that was how to do the Tunisian crochet ribbing in 1 colour and in 2 colours, worked flat and in the round. Thank you very much for watching.